Hiya. So, welcome to snack request number 2. And Nick has asked me for snack ideas for her little ones. So, for toddlers and for little people, what are the best things that we can offer them that we think might be a sort of healthier option, I guess, than perhaps some of the products that we see on the supermarket. So, I'm going to give you some sort of tips and suggestions as to what we can give. Now, snacking is actually a really important part of a child's day. They're growing like mad. They're usually hyper, running on the go, so they have lots of energy and nutrient requirements, but relatively their tummies are still quite small. So kids will sort of fare better with little and often. So having a mid-morning snack, a mid-afternoon snack, maybe something before they go to bed, helps keep their energy levels topped up and, to be honest, keeps them in a slightly better mood. Now, children have a natural preference towards sweet things, which is why we often find that kids will eat their fruit with relatively little issue. And that's some of the first foods that we will introduce to children will be sweet or fruit based. So eating fruit is certainly a good thing because you get obviously lots of vitamins and minerals, and we're hearing in the news today that we need to be eating even more fruit and vegetables to make us healthier in the long term. The difficulty can be with offering savoury things and particularly vegetables to children, because vegetables quite often have a bitter flavour, particularly sort of the dark green leafy vegetables that we know are good for us, but kids tend to turn their nose up at them. So a number of tips with kids is that keep offering them. Even though kids turn their nose up at certain foods, doesn't mean to say that they don't like it. They probably don't even know whether they like it or not at that moment. On average, it takes about 12 exposures for anyone to decide, and particularly children, to know if they actually like a food. So even though they may well reject it, keep presenting it, not on the same day, but every couple of days. Represent that food. Don't make a big deal of it. You keep eating the food as well, and you may well find that they'll come round to the idea that they'll actually try it, or they might actually even eat it and go, oh, I like it. So those 12 exposures is really important. And also when you present that food again, mix it up a bit. So if it was cooked, give it raw. So if it was carrots, give them raw, grate them or chop them into different shapes. So it's about making food exciting for kids as well. So I have a number of cutters and things that I use because we've gone through various fussy stages with Luke. It happens with all children pretty much. And so do you remember the old crinkle cut chips we used to do? I've got one of those, so I can chop up peppers and sweet corn and courgettes. What else can I do? Carrots and cucumber. So I've got some little crinkly cucumber there. You can do lengthways or roundways. And I've got little shape cutters here. So you can make pretty little flowers and so on, all different sort of shapes and sizes. So you can do that to vegetables before you roast them in the oven. Or of course you can do that with raw foods as well. Refer to them as, snacks of their favourite character. If Peppa Pig and George eat these, then they're going to grow up and be like Peppa Pig and George. Whatever it takes, it doesn't really matter. If they've got magic powers, I was told, and I still tell Luke, that he's going to grow more if he eats certain foods. There's ways in which you can sort of tap into a child's appeal for a certain type of food, really. Give them names, so make it exciting. Talk about magical powers. So I've got breadsticks here, and I pick the long ones because Luke finds them funny, and so he'll eat the long ones, not the short ones. Children can be fickle, but just go with it. Whatever might actually help them feel a level of familiarity or security with that food might mean that they're more likely to eat it. So offering a mixture of savoury and sweet foods is important so that they get to experience different flavours, different textures. And if they're used to being introduced to new experiences, then they're perhaps more likely to be accepting of them later on in life. So mix it up a little bit. Now, in terms of savoury foods, yes, we can do vegetables. It can help often if we're introducing, say we've mentioned breadsticks, crackers and so on. So oat cakes are really good because these tend to be quite low in sugar, and you don't have to assume that they need to be, or like with rice cakes, sugar coated or flavoured. Go with the plain varieties. If they've never had anything else before, they're none the wiser. So believe me, keep it simple. And if you want to add some peanut butter or some hummus or other spreads and so on and dips for vegetable sticks or for breadsticks and so on to mix it up and make it interesting, then you can do that too. Other sort of things, that bread products are great. So like crumpets, for example, or they do brioches now, which can be plain. You can add your own sort of spreads onto those if you want to. Bagels can be really good, so they do, you know, sesame seed ones and cinnamon and raisin ones. So lots of ways in terms of adding more variety. And I think variety is key, because quite often we get stuck in the rut of we just buy the same things because it's easy and it's handy, and then it becomes difficult to make that transition and move away and introduce something else. So try and mix it up a little bit. Cooking as well. Cooking with your kids is a brilliant way of helping them get familiar with foods, learning where it's come from, and having that involvement with it hands-on gives them that confidence. And often they're really proud when they made something at the end. They're more likely to eat it. So cooking popcorn with your kids is really exciting. If it's not a choke-up item, if they're not too young and they can have popcorn, you can just have it plain, or sprinkle a tiny bit of honey or cinnamon on there, or cocoa powder. It doesn't have to be much at all. You are in control of what's going on your child's food when you're cooking it. Incorporating carrots and courgettes into muffins, for example, or scones, making flapjacks with extra dried fruit in them to add that extra boost of energy. You can use less sugar, you're in control of that. Whether or not you use honey or any other sort of sweet product doesn't really matter, it's still sugar. But again, you can introducing different flavours and textures, rather than maybe going for something that's on the supermarket shelf that might have more sort of preservatives and some rubbish in there, basically. Things that I buy, because when we're out and about, you want handy things to have. So things that you can keep in the car or keep in your handbag. Luke loves malt loaf. So these are really handy. You didn't have to buy a branded one. And these are banana ones because he really likes bananas. And so we have these, and they're also slightly less sugar than the other varieties, but they do all sorts of orange and sort of forest fruit type ones, as well as the bog standard malt loaf that you or I may have grown up with. Sultanas, raisins, bog standard snack in our house. And do you know what? They're okay. They are dried fruits. The thing we need to watch about this is sugar content. So when you dry grapes, was it grapes that makes raisins or sultanas? One of those. The sugar gets concentrated. So within 100 grams, you've got 70 grams of sugar per 100 grams. So they are a high sugar product. And in a 30-gram serving, you've got 21 grams of sugar. So that's 4 teaspoons of sugar in a 30-gram serving. For kids, you're probably looking at a 15 to 20-gram serving. So in here, you're getting vitamins and minerals, and you're getting fibre, because at the end of the day, this is a natural fruit product. But we still need to be wary of the sugar content and the impact that's going to have on their teeth. So ensure that they have water or milk, simple drinks, sort of wash their mouth out afterwards. Have these in moderation. And you don't want to be giving them too many, because too many will probably make them really windy and uncomfortable or make them rush to the toilet. There are all sorts of products that are marketed towards children that are fruit orientated, and this one is in the kids aisle, and it says 1 of your 5 a day. So you think bingo, it's got no added sugar, so you think, oh, that's good then. But actually these are no different to your sultanas. They've got similar amounts of sugar in here. So you've got a 35-gram bag here giving you again 20 grams of sugar. So you can perhaps don't offer them the whole pack. Offer this occasionally, and actually, you know what, go for the fresh fruit if you've got it to hand. It's going to be better for them in terms of if you haven't got that concentrated energy source. But I'm okay with these in moderation. Just don't rely on too many in one day and have them too regularly. So I hope that's helped a little bit, given you a few ideas. Sorry I've gone on for a little bit, I always tend to do that. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you, bye.